Hello gamers. Today I'm going to be making a quick video showing the progress of my Vintage Story house, my base, over time. The last video I made was about 8 months ago, and that was at 40 hours on the save file. Now I am at 210 hours on the save file. And I progressed massively, not only inside of the story, but also in gameplay features. Also have installed multiple mods and have updated through multiple different game updates through time. Now, originally I started this, I believe, 1.21, and we are now on 1.22.3. I might be wrong with that, I can't remember exactly. I'm sure if I go back and said the previous video, I would have said it. But this is where I am at right now. Now, you might be able to see, since I'm just running around right now, lots of additions to the current base. Now, that is definitely something I have to cover, but first I will start with some of the better, more artistic additions to the base. Now, here I have this really nice bridge that I made, and when I made this bridge, it was quite literally just me deciding that I wanted to make a bridge. It realistically has no functional reason because I'm not really traveling from this point to this point very often. I originally made it thinking that over here could be my orchard, where I have all of my different trees. Most of them are just yellow apples, pink apples, and pears, because that's what grows best around this area. And there is a couple of trees over there also. I'm pretty sure that one is a pink apple. Let's see. Yes, pink apple. But I'm thinking of also making this another bridge, as in making a section of it that goes from this block here over to this area, so that I don't have to travel over water, especially when these eventually start fruiting in 20 days. Another addition, besides the fruit trees, which are definitely a huge addition in my opinion, but another one is the new fruit bushes that came with Vintage Story version 1.22, and I have just a mess of them over here that I've collected from my travels. A little bit of each. I try my best to only get the ones that have good genetics, so we'll see about that in the future. Obviously, the stone paths are very useful, very helpful. Additions to the greenhouses. The last time I only had the one greenhouse. I can't remember if it was this one here or this one here, but this one is a small apiary, and you might notice that I have the Golden Combs mod, and that's what I've been using. But I have also some cranberry bushes in here. You'll notice that they're the old version of cranberry bushes, not the 1.22 version. Another thing is that you'll notice that there are a lot of new modded features. Of course, there's the fresh manure from the natural fertilizer mod. There are tons from, I can't remember the name of the mod off the top of my head. I believe it's expanded storage. I might be wrong about that. Don't kill me. Correct me in the comments if you know the name of that mod. And of course, I have seaweed growing inside of these barrels so that I can turn that into fertilizer. I'm pretty sure that is the expanded storage mod. Hold on. Pemmican. No, that is the pemmican mod. Here I have my darling dog in his little house. You're not allowed to have dogs in Vintage Story yet, so I just pretend that my elk is a dog. No, I don't want to ride you. No, get back in there. Thank you, dog. Yes, I agree. But my darling dog's house, to whom I love and care for. Over here is a composter, which is from... What mod is this from? Compost Tweaks. I recommend that. It's very good. I recently just added that, but I personally believe it's very nice. Over here is my large animal farm, my barn. I have chickens. I have boars, which I hope at some point will properly domesticate into pigs. Goats, which I'm very excited for when they start producing milk so I can make cheese. And hares, which hares aren't really that beneficial in my opinion. They only really give the small pelts, which are useful for making parchment and other small things, and sometimes fat, but for the most part, I more just collected it during a winter, which, speaking of winter, it is year 3. Recently, winter has passed, and I've gone back into farming and expanding my general farm area. These living bulbs are also from the Pemmican mod, I believe. They're very useful, they're very nice, and they just look really nice. I collected them while I was traveling. And I will show the rest of my farms later. But yes, we also have over here the general greenhouse. I accidentally let these ones get heat stunted, but these are sugar beets. They're also from the Pemmican mod, and at least I believe they're from the Pemmican mod. I might be misremembering. Same thing with these potatoes. But yes, just a general extension to this one. This extension to this greenhouse is very recent, but all things considered, it is new to you, the viewer, from the last video that I showed. Now into the general interior of the house, you'll see that I have the large windmill set up. They're not the large windmills, as in the item large windmills, but it is just a windmill setup that is large. Unlike what I said in the last video about breaking this area up into multiple rooms, I chose to make it one large work area, so that way I have a large area to do whatever I please, like leaving things out to dry, or just general placing of especially these traps that don't stack, and making iron and bloomeries and such, like I have over here with my iron supply, and I have my fire clay bricks right here for when I need to fire them, and all that sort of stuff. Also my cooking area, which, speaking of cooking, this poultry stew is done. Very yummy. Multiple different new mods. Culinary artillery experimental. Well, it's experimental for now. But a culinary artillery. A very nice mod in my opinion. The tin can mod. Metal cookware. That's the name of this mod. Very, very useful. I'm hoping that it gets updated soon. I have a condenser and a boiler for distilling. You'll see that a lot of the things in the cellar are about the same, except for the barrel racks and, of course, the expanded amount of storage for crocks and these tin cans. We have lots of honey. For the moment being, at the very least. At some point, I would like to make some wine or something. I have vegetable broth that I've been keeping for storage. A lot of these storage vessels are just full of food that I'm allowing to rot, or just not paying attention to. And then we have down here, this has been expanded We also have some ripening meats that are drying on the meat racks. These ones have aged, so I should probably take those off. And I also have some vintage red meat sausages, which will basically stay on there as long as they'll allow me. We had a lot of pies, but I had recently eaten them all. But at some point I'll be making more pie. Cherry cider, cranberry wine, blackcurrant wine, all that fun stuff. At some point I'll also be turning that into aquavitae, but that'll take some time. This was a large pain to make. The meteoric iron cauldron. I wanted to make the copper, but for me personally, because of how slow it takes for copper to smelt normally, it was easier for me to just use my storage of meteoric iron and make that pot. Over here we have the small bakery, where I have my clay ovens, a water source, rolling pin on the floor that I've just kind of left here. I don't even know why I have these peat bricks. You can't use them in ovens. But this is where I make the majority of my pies and such. I didn't mean to pick that up. Tool collection, some steel, some iron, the rest. Large amount of chests. Nothing too interesting over here but my metal collection. This is the vintage paint. What is this mod? I believe it's VS Paint. Vintage Story Paint mod. I used it for making some drawings that I put on the wall, but of course, it doesn't like the Waystone mod. So whenever you travel with the Waystone mod, it turns them into this random jumble of different tapestries and different textures, which isn't a big deal for me personally. Here I have my snail statue, and I have my froggy statue. They're my inventory keepers. And now in here I have my large bakery. And I put up this little poetic sign. I lay my hands on grain and produce, put them to the fire so I may create bounty. May our crop be massive and our meals be met with warm memory. I thought that was very clever. But I have my little stone oven baking area. This is a part of the stone oven mod, I believe it's called. It's very, very good. Just lets you bake lots of stuff all at once without having to refuel all the time. In here, still haven't done anything too interesting, but I have expanded this crate storage area. Nothing too interesting to say up here besides just showing what it is. Now we're getting into the forge / processing area. Oh. What? Did it die? Oh, there we go. Sometimes that just happens, you know. You'll get some freezes and stuff like that when you have so many mods installed. Making sure that the recording is still going. Yep, okay, cool. But yes, we have the forge and everything here. Let me just move this. There we go. Quiet down now. But we have the forge. We have a lot of our resources. 33 iron looms. 17 steel ingots, 12 meteoric iron, 31 iron ingots, stuff like that. We have plenty of bountiful resources and such, especially when it comes to the rare materials like steel. At some point I'd like to do some more. But here we have some shifting gears. We have 4 times gear ratio, I believe that is. I'm not an engineer. But, yes. But up here we have our windmills. At some point I'd like to expand this even more to add another 4 sets of windmills. But for right now I feel like 4 is definitely enough. It gets us to where we need to be. As much as I would still like it to, at some point, be, I don't know, more power. More power, more better. But all things considered, that is most of the main base. But as I said, I have the Waystone mod now. Oh, I completely forgot. Here we have the cementation furnace for steel, the beehive kiln for pottery, and we have my mini tree farm, well, in between the holes in the ground that I've made from mining up all of the appropriate resources like quartz and sand. Trees with taps in them, nothing too interesting really. That's another thing from the culinary expansion mod. But now, let's go to the more interesting expansions. Because of the Waystone mod, I'm able to travel very far away, and I've created a second small base, but with an even larger farm. Now, this has taken quite a long time for me personally. Oh, another freeze. Another freeze. There we go. But this has taken quite a long time for me personally. But it has been very, very satisfying to have so much produce going at all one time. And we have all sorts of different crops. We have corn, we have heel bulb, we have parsnips, we have onions, we have everything. Even soybeans. And then on top of that, we have the two extra greenhouses, which have been plodding along all throughout the last winter, so we still have things that are stunted from the cold. Except this rye. Rye just takes a while. Here we have a drifter inside of the house. And I haven't gotten to furnishing this house or anything like that. I have a little emergency room where I survive from temporal storms and such in there. But then down here, I also have this really nice cellar, which has just a general smattering of long-lasting foods. I specifically made this area for long lifespan foods. So I have this mushroom mass, which is also from pemmican, and then some actual pemmican from the pemmican mod. Took a lot of time and effort to get all of this resources put together. And then we also have these tons. This one has cranberry wine inside of it that at some point I would like to see it cure and age. And then this one's just empty because I had nothing else to put inside of here. And I didn't want it to look so empty. At some point I'll put some other wine or something in there. This cellar over here is meant more for long-term storage food resources. But other than that, I don't have many interesting things to show. No more bases at the very least, and I don't want to show any of the locations like the lazaret or any of the villages to not spoil anything. But I think I'll leave that as my second base tour. At some point I'd like to start a new world so that I can make a proper video, like a small series, but for right now I feel like this is enough. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please consider to like and subscribe and leave a comment about what you thought about the base.